And we're live.
And we're live. Welcome back to another Corona Geek, here where we talk all about mobile app development using Corona SDK. I'm your host, Charles McKeever, and today we have a very special guest with us here in studio. We've got Caleb Place, author of CBEffects. Hey, Caleb, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Caleb, if you're not familiar with Caleb's library, it's a library to create particle effects. I'm going to get him to explain exactly what it is here in a moment and give us sort of his vision of it. But we're going to talk with him about where it came from, how it got started, where it's going, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get into that in just a moment. Also joining us on the show is I almost said Dr. Brian Burton, but Dr. Burton's not here today. We've got Ed Marina from roaminggamer.com who's with us as always. Hey Ed, how you doing?
Hey there.
Hey, your screenshot is frozen up here. You just look like you got that. There you are. Now I can see you.
Oh, okay.
It was your thumbnail was like you had this mean look on your face.
Thanks a lot. That's what I get for pausing and muting for a while.
That's right. That's it.
Free show.
Totally threw it off. Well, hey, we've got a lot of stuff to get into today. We've got to talk about CBEffects, and then if we get into if we have time, we're going to talk maybe about a little touch coalescing. Which I know a lot of people are interested in, and we got some other things that we may or may not get to today. So just hang with us as we go through everything. Now, I want to remind everybody, if you didn't get a chance to catch Corona Geek 142, we covered, what is it, Ichi? We covered an Ichi game, core mechanics, creating bumpers, lining up bumpers, making sure that everything worked properly. We did a lot of talking about physics engines and how to sort of trick the eye into making things look right and all that. So if you didn't get a chance to check that out, go do so over at youtube.com/coronageek. That is probably the best place to find all of the videos that we have in the library. You can go back and watch any of them. I know that some people have come on and they've started watching from number one, and they just go right through the list, which is amazing considering there's 100 and some odd videos, but they do, and we appreciate it. So thanks for that, and they always send in questions too. So if you have a question, just let us know, and we'll try to point you in the right direction. Hey, Jason Schroeder's in here. Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Hey, everybody. From the mobile app studio once again.
I don't want to hear screeching and horns honking. So please be not be mobile.
That's right. That's right. He looks like he's
to confirm the New York stereotype, but I live in Queens, so I don't know that it's necessarily going to be as noisy as all that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, don't be driving. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. No, passenger seat. That wheel gets in the way.
You already saw that video this week with the 4 people in the car and the tire blowout. We don't need to see that with you. Okay?
No, I haven't seen that. I guess I'll have to Google it.
Yeah.
Well, for May, we're playing Corona Geek games. We're playing Boom Dot, which Jason is, I think, still the reigning champion on that. Is that correct?
I don't know. I haven't.
Well, if you haven't posted anything new,
You do.
yeah, if you haven't posted anything new, you're either still the reigning champion at 227, or somebody has beat you. So we'll have to go check that out later. But yeah, I think you are in the lead for sure. So if you haven't checked that out already, go check the show notes. We've got a link to Boom Dot. You can play it on iOS or Android or all the other devices, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and Jason has really just been killing it with 227. It
is a fun game. It's actually more than any of the games that we played the last couple of months, and I only started doing the game things a couple of months ago. But it's got me thinking about doing my own sort of super casual one button game, because it did sort of wrap me up, and it became what I was doing on the subway for days. So
yeah, why not?
Yeah, me too. Right.
The dark side.
Also, if you haven't had a chance to go over to Udemy, there's a new course over there by Daniel Williams that you can take. It's a game development using Corona SDK, and he also covers ASO and adding ads into your app. So it's kind of an end-to-end course. He takes you through creating a game, Pirates versus Ninjas. So everything from getting the buttons set up to getting ninjas on the screen and having them interact and keeping score and all that stuff. I mean, it's a full game basically. So go check it out. We'll put a link in the show notes, but if you use the coupon code Corona Geek, all one word, then you will get the course for $9, which is incredible, an amazing amount of value for such a small dollar figure. So go check it out. You can also, while you're over there, you can preview some of the videos that are in the course, and you can see the outline of everything that's covered and stuff like that. And Daniel does an excellent job, so go check it out. And there was one last bit of news I want to cover just before we jump in here and talk with Caleb, is that you can now write Corona plugins with pure Lua, which Sergey, I'm sure is of interest to you. I know you wanted to write plugins. Are you going to be writing any plugins in Lua?
Well, how does it different from just Lua library?
Yeah, so that's a good question. The blog post, which we'll put a link to in the show notes, talks about the fact that prior to this new way of doing things, you had to still package things up in sort of a native wrapper and then publish it as a plugin. This stuff is all using pure Lua code, so you really don't have to do any of that extra administrative stuff. And it's all covered in the blog post, but that's the gist of it. So I'm kind of pretty excited about that. I want to get into seeing what exactly we can do with pure Lua plugins. So okay, well, we'll have a link to that in the show notes. Go check it out. And yeah, let's get into this conversation here with Caleb. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's start off, if you would, Caleb. Let's talk about you, and then let's talk about CBEffects, and then maybe we'll do some general particle effects conversation and stuff like that. How's that?
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, let's just start with the fact that I want to kind of get your age out of the way. I want to talk about that, and then get it out of the way, because I want people to to be awed and inspired, but also we don't need to harp on it too much. How old are you now?
15.
So you're 15 years old. How long have you been developing software?
About 3 years.
Okay. Had you developed anything prior to that?
I have not. Mm-mm.
No. You just got into it. What got you into developing software?
I'm not sure, actually. My dad showed me Game Salad, and from there on, I just loved it. So that's
okay.
How.
So you initially started out with Game Salad.
Mhm.
Okay. And did you publish apps using that?
I did not, because I made a lot of really junky apps with it.
Okay. Okay. And what made you move away from it?
Well, I had almost completed a full game when it trashed everything, accidentally, I guess. It just wouldn't load it. So Dad said, how about for your next one, you try Corona SDK, because evidently he just heard about Robert Ney, who released Bubble Ball, and so that's how it started.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And is your dad, he sounds like he's keeping an eye on this kind of stuff. Is he technically minded, or is he a developer? What's that? He's
pretty technically minded, but he's not a programmer.
Okay, so he's just sort of looking for things that you might be interested in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I know that when I first started looking at building apps, Game Salad was definitely one of the things that I looked at, but I figured, well, I'm going to have to wind up learning the way that system works, and I didn't know that those skills were going to translate to any other platforms. So Corona was one of the reasons that I started looking at cross-platform and actually having a programming language and all that kind of stuff. So
in theory, Game Salad sounds good for beginners because you learn the basics of loops and functions and all that. But it turned out that basically none of my Game Salad knowledge went over to Corona, because a real programming language is just completely different.
Right. And I think that's true of any 100% visually oriented development tool. If that's all you do is just sort of drag stuff on the screen, then you're gonna have a hard time going to a programming language.